Hello guys, welcome back to another YouTube video here today, and we are coming at you with another build video. And we've made a Rowdy Rider Harlowe build, so we are using the Rowdy Rider only on this build. I've just discovered recently that the Rowdy Rider with alt shotgun and stickies are torque impact is absolutely insane for bossing. It does tons of damage. Actually, I never knew it could come with alt shotgun into recently, and this thing is absolutely deadly and worthy of using for bossing. Now we're only using shotgun, alt shotgun for bossing, alt SMGs for mobbing, cranks for mobbing. What I would recommend for what we're doing here is really good, but I would recommend using something that's fire damage for balloon specifically. So we are using the Stated Merciless with the all shotgun and stickies and fire damage, which this is a really good gun for Bloom. This is the only different gun that we were using on this build, and if the linebacker for Crystal's enemies, because the linebacker is kind of important to this build. The rest of this stuff we're not using, but the linebacker use for the Ordinite enemies and the crystal enemies, like where Bloom's crystals and all that stuff. So then you're gonna want much fire rate as possible. So we are using the shiny war paint. So this gives you a 30% fire rate increase. Plus, this one also has a fire rate percent increase on top of that. So this is really, really, really nice. And then we're using the crit knife for extra damage. If you want to use it, you don't really need to use the crit knife, but it's very powerful and it works really well. And then we're using the relative physicist, which this has action skill, duration, splash damage, and kinetic damage bonuses. This is really nice. So there's 5 points in decoherence and 2 in feedback loop. And then we're using the triple amp watch for dinner, which is really, really nice. When we're using impact, we get tons of extra damage. And then we're using the pounder head ringer, guns with torque licensed parts, give the 25% 100% damage increase. This one has gun splash damage, gun splash radius, and gun magazine size, which is really nice because the gun splash radius is really helpful with the linebacker and all that. And gun splash damage is really good for all the guns that we are using. And then we're using 2 airstrikes for extra splash damage. And then we're using 3 Deadeyes because we were using infinite crit. So 3 Deadeyes here are really, really, really nice. And then now we're going to go over the skills. So we've used a little bit of red tree only for fire rate, specifically only fire rate. We get 20% extra in fire rate, which is Cyctron. And then we're putting 5 points into momentum, which gives us 25% extra crit damage. We put 5 points in the neutron decay. 3 points into Creator Overflow gives us up to 36% gun damage if our overshield's full. Then we put 2 points in Confirmative Reality, gives us action skill cooldown per entangled enemy. We put 5 points in a Gamma Ray Burst for bonus radiation damage, plus we got to get down the tree. And then we put 1 point in Harlow's Certainty's Principle, which is all you need. And then we only put 2 points in Critical Funding because you don't really need it any more than that. And then Excited Estate, we put 5 points in here, 1 point in the 4 points in distribution function to get shield restore, 1 point in acceleration so we get a little bit of life steal, 5 points into decoherence, 1.5 points into lat charge. We put 1 point in the feedback loop for class box puts 2, and then we put 1 point into status effect. It has a chance to an entangle enemy. So this gives you increased status effect chance, and plus when you apply a status effect to an enemy, they can become entangled. So this is really nice. Allows you to get your action skill back really easily, which is why we are using the Categorized Revenge to get our action skill back. Really nice gun for that. And then for specializations, we are using the best defense, which just gives you 30% of damage dealt when shields are full. And this is riddle you this. This is gun damage per stack, so you can get up to 50% stacks. So it gives you up to 50 stacks. And then we use points into contamination. Critical hits against status effect application chance, status effect application chance stack per check. And then stack duration is 10 seconds. So this gives you up to 50% status effect application. And then we're using the compounding affiliations. Enemy take increased damage for each status effect applied to them. So that's just a little bit of extra damage. So for when we're not our action skill that say our action skills cool down, we use this. And we automatically entangle the enemy, which is really, really nice. which is why we are using this skill, so we don't have to if we say we take too long to get our action skill back, and we need to get our action skill back, we just shoot the enemy with the categorized revenge, and we're good, and they're entangled. Not really sure if it'll work with the Rowdy Rider. Might. The Rowdy Rider works too. It makes them automatically entangled. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. And I will see you guys in the next build video. Peace.